its cloud profitability is seen as a weak link?
You're right. I think the CapEx number was expected to go up given what we saw from Google last night. And look, I think in the case of Amazon, you are seeing that margin headwind, whereas Google's cloud margins actually expanded from 17 to 30%. So from that perspective, you can see why Amazon is going big in terms of raising their CapEx because they want to make sure they are the dominant cloud provider. But in terms of the workloads, I think Google definitely has an advantage that they have their own family of apps, and then they can allocate, the NVIDIA GPUs to external customers. Whereas Amazon, it feels like they are relying mostly on their Trainium chips for driving that AI workload revenue, and the Trainium chips may not be as performant as the NVIDIA GPUs. So that may be causing that margin headwind, which we saw in the results.
Brendan, given the skepticism right now about the AI build-out and how harshly these tech giants are being punished after results, is it a bit more concerning that the sell-off seems to be broadening right now, especially when you're talking about some private names like Ares, for example, that has this sort of exposure in the private sector as well with their investments on AI bets?
Absolutely. There have been concerns for weeks now permeating out of the private space about funding risks and what's going on behind the curtain of private credit. But today was the first real worrying day. If you looked at the price action earlier in the week, there were green shoots, whether you said it was an equal weight being up on the day or value or small caps holding in. Today was the first day where you could sit here and say there was nowhere to hide. So today's action is very uncomfortable. I wanted to say there was a green shoot from today. It's that the S&P 500 did hold the 100-day moving average. So that's one thing to point to, but overall, today was pretty dark.
Stacey Marie, it was uncomfortable for crypto investors as well. Bitcoin keeps falling. We're seeing it past some of these oversold levels. Capitulation is a word that's being tossed around. What is your sense, though, of whether the selling is really over?
We're not seeing significant signs of the selling being over. I mean, just because of the way that Bitcoin trades, if you were to look at it as a Bloomberg terminal right now, you'd be like, oh, it's up. Kind of, but that's just because of when the market closes and opens. I mean, to Brendan's point, we had a day where we were down 14%, and the acceleration was such that we're seeing a lot of people get liquidated, a lot of positions are getting closed out, and what that is doing is for even what are sometimes called the true believers are kind of having a hard time. Even if they still believe, they're just no longer profitable to an extent that makes sense for them to continue to be in the market. So we're looking at a few different things. We're going to be really closely paying attention, not just to Bitcoin, not just Ether, but the state of the altcoin market. So the smaller tokens or meme coins, because that's really a place where a lot of the speculative frenzy has been concentrated. We're going to keep a close eye on what's happening to crypto ETFs. Are people selling those? Are they pulling their money out of those? And of course, we're going to keep a close eye on the earnings of companies like Strategy, like Coinbase, and others to try to get a sense of what they're going to be projecting for the weeks and months ahead.
Stacey Marie, what has fundamentally changed for the crypto space, especially after the liquidation event in October that's leading to this really long-standing downtrend?
I think one of the things that's happened is nothing, right? Like there was a lot of expectation that by now we would have a second important piece of legislation in the United States that would set up some governance around market structure that has pretty important potential consequences for things like stablecoins. There hasn't been affirmative rhetoric coming out of the White House, whether it's from the Treasury side or President Trump himself. No one's kind of saying, hey, we're going to buy Bitcoin or we're supporting the digital asset industry. So it's not the same narrative from the top down as there were when we were hearing a few months ago. And instead, what you're getting is just more competition for the same type of retail money, right? We're really seeing the rise of the prediction marketplaces like Kalshi and Polymarket kind of coming in and saying, hey, if you want to speculate, if you want to take a position on something, you can move over here instead of using the crypto market providers.
Are you thinking about a hot for your garage floor? Consider Shark Coatings instead. Shark Coatings has 4 times stronger than hot seat, 100% antibacterial, and lasts a lifetime. Over 50% of our yachts keep by removing stale, toad, it's costly and time-consuming to redeploy every couple of years. Don't pay twice. Get it done right the first time. Everyone is stop service. It's cheaper to do it right the first time. I'm Jonathan Boston, and I'm going to tell you about life insurance and the family of the program. Here is your my life insurance. Remember the three P's. The three what? Three P's. The three P's of life insurance and a fixed budget. Price. Price people. The price that can exist. And the price keeps the budget.
I'm 52. Once a smoker. But I quit. What's my price?
Joey! $9.95 a month. I'm 65. I'm retired, and I take medication for my also $9.95 a month.
I'm on a fixed. What's my price?
$9.95 a month. YouTube. Security's 50 to 85. Call me. The number one most popular whole life insurance company. Available through the Colonial Pay Program. Actually start $9.95 a month. It's less than $35. Call for your free Colonial Pay important information you need. Plus, you'll receive a coverage options to fit your budget and needs, as well as a simple one-page application form. No questions asked. Call 1-800-780-6743. You cannot turn down because of this. No medical insurance, no health questions. Your acceptance is guaranteed. And this plan has a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, so your rate can never go up to any. Call for your free, no-obligation Colonial Penn plan and get the information you need. You'll also receive a simple one-page application form as well as helpful ways to leave important messages for your family. Give your planner today and let them know what's important to you. Call 1-800-780-6743. Use this valuable data for your important information so your health and direction to alone. So call now for information. Call now to find out more. Call 1-800-780-6743.
Speaking of competition, Mandy, we are seeing the software makers getting hit this week. Anthropic is rolling out another release, this time for financial research. I mean, how much of a challenge does this all provide to some of the software makers?
Right now, I think the market is treating all of these product releases, as really a big headwind for pretty much every software category. We think, probably infrastructure categories like cybersecurity are completely insulated, even though Anthropic has talked about launching their cybersecurity offering here as well. And that's where, the data that Anthropic has will matter in terms of the products that they're releasing. I mean, cybersecurity, for example, requires a lot of system log data. I don't think you can replicate that sort of data, unless they acquire somebody or partner with somebody. So from that perspective, there is clearly an overreaction that you're seeing in the market, because every software company is being treated the same way right now in terms of multiple compression, and that clearly will clear out over time.
Brendan, to Mandeep's point, it almost looks like babies are being thrown out with the bathwater at this point. Where are investors going to hedge?
Funny enough, we talked so much last year about how poorly the dollar did, but it's been doing well over the last couple of weeks. The dollar index is up about 2.5% off the lows coming off of President Trump's comments about the dollar doing well, which ironically marked the low. So it seems like a capitulation actually turn the market higher there, and that could be the case in crypto, but it's hard to say that you want to step in and catch a falling knife, but oftentimes you need to see a market capitulate before you step in. So we've seen a bounce in the dollar in recent weeks. Today was a massive day for treasuries. So you're looking at your typical safe haven flow stepping in here.
How durable, Brendan, would you say the bounce in the dollar is, given what we're seeing on the pound as well?
I think it's interesting in the FX space because the big theme here is central bank divergence. We showed the RBA go just this week. You're seeing the BOE with a split vote, which was a surprise, hinting at easing probably sooner than everybody thought. ECB on hold, and then the interesting one today was BOC Governor Tiff Macklem, sounding a little bit more hawkish than everybody would have expected. So the theme here in FX is certainly central bank divergence, and the way this basket is constructed, if you get pound underperformance, you see the yen weakness that's going on. That can play into some dollar strength, and this rally can keep going. But ultimately, we need to know what Kevin Warsh is going to say. We just don't know when he's going to speak.
Mandeep, when it comes to the tech sector, what could be the next catalyst? We're still awaiting NVIDIA results at this point.
Yeah, there's one thing we can be certain about is that all of these accelerator companies, memory companies have demand that is off the charts. In fact, NVIDIA CEO kept saying, demand is like literally taken off this year at CES and then at Davos. And so it's coming to fruition in terms of, what we are seeing from these companies. And given the capex increases that we are seeing for 2026, I mean, there's no doubt that these companies, NVIDIA, Broadcom, they're going to print great numbers. And, the supply shortages that we have heard are probably going to intensify, at least for the near term.
Stacey, this is all coming at a time where we are seeing more US firms announcing a deluge of job cuts. And this seems to be coming through in the crypto space to some extent as well.
Yes, I mean, we haven't yet seen crypto firms in the US lay off, big numbers of people. Definitely nothing like what we've seen at Amazon and other tech companies. But just today, we had, a company that trades under Gemini Spaceship, owned by the, now publicly traded company, but founded by the Winklevoss twins, say that they're essentially cutting all of their operations internationally, citing increased operational complexity. If these kinds of prices persist, however, if we start to get, below 60 into 55, 50, we fully expect that other companies will announce similar cost-cutting measures. There was a lot of hiring and enthusiasm going into the second Trump presidency on the expectation that prices would be higher than where they are right now, and we've seen that in the past, like a retrenchment is almost inevitable.
Team, it's been great to get your analysis. Thank you. Bloomberg MI strategist Brendan Fagan, Bloomberg Intelligence Global Head Technology of Research Mandeep Singh, and Executive Editor for Crypto, Stacey Marie Ishmael. Coming up on the Asian Traders, we preview Sunday's Japanese election with the ruling party lawmaker and assess the potential market and economic impacts on the vote with JP Morgan Securities and Fitch Ratings. Much more ahead. This is Bloomberg.
The United States is the largest and the most profitable market in the world, and that's why it's so important for us to be relevant here and for us to continue to grow at scale. We are at a pivotal moment. I think when we talk about AI, there's still a lot of focus on data centers and the infrastructure piece of it. Really, a lot of capital markets activity, a lot of financing has taken place to support that infrastructure growth. And now more and more there's about use cases and where you see the tangible benefits of AI.
And dialogue and relationships will ultimately become increasingly important in this age of AI. Ultimately, it's all about the ROI from AI investments. If you look back at history, transformational innovations that have driven equity returns historically, what we see there is that the lion's share of value creation accrues typically to the application layer, to the downstream industries. One thing is clear and very evident in this conference, that the ROI of AI is tangible and is scalable.
When we think about AI, we're always overestimating what AI can do in the next 6 months, but I think we're underestimating what it will do in the longer term. When we're here, we're listening to everyone and really thinking about UBS as a group and the type of relationships that we can grow with these great corporates. When we are reimagining the workflow with AI, that's where we're having the greatest success.
AI and the recent AI trends speak to how quickly the technology industry is evolving. We're here to advise our clients in terms of not only what's happening today, but how we see the market evolving over time and being at the forefront of the next big trends. I think that the next 5 to 10 years are going to be unlike any that we've seen over history.
Japan heads to the polls on Sunday for a snap election that could reshape the nation's political balance. Voters will decide all 465 seats in the lower house, and the outcome will set the course for the ruling coalition's economic and diplomatic ambitions. Let's bring in our economy and government reporter Yoshiaki Nohara. Yoshi, so give us some insight onto how these polls look and how significant this vote could be, given that so much is at stake, including foreign policy, with Takaichi's expected visit to the U.S. soon.
Right. So polls have pretty much shown the accurate predicting the decisive victory for Prime Minister Takaichi's ruling coalition. So that means that if that becomes true, she's going to get a pretty good mandate from the public to pursue what people say to be more assertive Japan on the diplomatic front and the defense front, and probably on the economic front, more spending and aggressive fiscal policies with the fiscal balance in mind. So there's a lot at stake for the public and also as a nation as a whole. Because as you mentioned that President Trump just mentioned that he's expecting to host Prime Minister Takaichi in mid-March, and that's going to be, a kind of a combination of showing how the win would mean on the diplomatic front with the U.S., which is the most important ally for Japan on the defense front. But at home, there's complication to the election as well, because you see it's a different dynamics in this election bit. So that means that there's a risk factor for Takaichi as well, still remains to be seen.
Yeah, the meeting with President Trump expected to be March 19th, but tell us a little bit more about the changed dynamics domestically that it really raised the risks for Takaichi.
So one of the reasons why Prime Minister Takaichi called for this snap election was she wanted to see if the public feels okay with the new coalition. And new coalition is made by the power-ruling Liberal Democratic Party and the party called Japan Innovation Party. But that means that the old coalition is gone with Komeito. So the wild card here is how the Komeito voters will cast their votes if they decide to just entirely split their votes to the opposition party, which they just formed with the biggest opposition party. So that could be a big swing factor in this election. So we never know what's going to happen.
Since once expanding from wind energy alone to multiple sources of energy, why is that important now, and what does it mean on the global stage?
As a full stack energy solutions company from renewable energy, basically we are seeing good convergence between wind, solar, and storage. All these put together today can provide energy at a price point which can compete almost any energy sources, not just in India but globally.
We're always overestimating what AI can do in the next 6 months, but I think we're underestimating what it will do in the longer term. When we're reimagining the workflow with AI, that's where we're having the greatest success.
The catalytic force is really the American growth mindset, that belief that you can always do better. That ultimately drives this flywheel of ambition and innovation that make the Americas so unique as a growth region.
Once again, be very careful.
Yoshi, externally,
Japan,
of course, faces pressure from China. How much support do you think Takaichi might be seeking from Trump when they meet?
So that's a really good thing to keep thinking at this point. Remember that President Trump is going to Beijing to meet Xi Jinping in April, probably. So that means that from his standpoint, he wants to signal that he's aligned with Japan, which is the strongest ally in Asia Pacific. At the same time, from the Takaichi standpoint, she wants to make sure that she's got strong backing from the public. And if history shows that when Japan has a strong leader, with a strong backing from the public, China may change its stance for its leader. If you know what happened with late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, when he won big, returned to power with a big mandate, then it was a signaling the start of seeking off-ramp between the diplomatic dispute that Japan had with China back then.
Yoshi, thank you so much. Always great to get your insights. Bloomberg economy and government reporter Yoshiaki Nohara. Now let's take a look at how markets are faring, particularly commodities, as some of the Iran worries ease off a little ahead of talks. We are seeing, in terms of oil prices, that continued decline. Saudi Arabia is also cutting some of the key oil prices for its Asian buyers. So the focus does seem to be on this global supply glut of the commodity. Some other top global headlines we're following as well. The Cuban government says it's willing to negotiate with the US as it prepares for acute fuel shortages due to increased pressure from Washington. President Trump last month cut off Cuba's fuel supply from Venezuela after the capture of Nicolas Maduro. He also threatened other countries with tariffs if they come to Cuba's aid with energy shipments. Bloomberg has learned that China is asking state firms to pause talks on new projects in Panama. It comes after the top Panamanian port voided CK Hutchison's contract to operate 2 ports along its strategic canal. Sources say China has also asked shipping companies to consider rerouting cargo through other ports. Moody's Ratings has lowered its outlook on Indonesia's credit rating from stable to negative, citing concerns over policy stability under President Prabowo Subianto. This means the country's Baa2 rating could be downgraded if the government doesn't take steps to address fiscal pressures and a weakening in foreign reserves. The move comes days after a massive sell-off in the country's stock market over investability concerns. We have more ahead on the Asia trade. This is Bloomberg.
ARM shares rebounded after Wall Street analysts praised the chip designer's latest quarterly report, which initially drew a tepid response from investors. CEO Rene Haas told us their data center business is accelerating faster than expected.
We have a line of sight that says we see it coming, and it's probably coming sooner than we had thought. And the reason for that is the data center growth. But if you click below that, why is data center growing so rapidly? It is the presence of ARM CPUs in the data center. We're now over 50% market share of the hyperscalers. Secondly, the CPUs that are being used are using more ARM CPUs inside the chip. 192 cores, for example, inside a Graviton chip, going from 96. NVIDIA Vera going from 72 cores on Grace now to 88. So what does that mean? That means more cores, it means more royalties and high growth rates. But why are there more cores? When you think about agentic AI and everything associated with agents moving workloads across systems, managing workloads, et cetera, that's the kind of work only CPUs can do. So to your question, while we're not getting a date, we can see it, and it's coming sooner than we had thought, even probably 6 to 9 months ago.
And probably on the back of when you look at an Alphabet increasing its capital expenditure by another, potentially $185 billion, Renee. Is the AI bubble, this worry about AI infrastructure build out a thing of the past to you, or there are still some bottleneck issues that you're concerned about?
Yeah, so it's a great observation, Caroline. And yes, there's huge growth in Google's capex. Not all of that $180 billion is coming to us, of course. But what does that say? We continue to see investments in the data center, whether it's what Meta had announced or Microsoft announced, and now Google, Alphabet, that exceed what people had originally thought was even possible, even a couple of years ago. If you go back to when we announced the Stargate initiative in January of 2024, $500 billion over a number of years. People looked at those numbers and said, how is that even possible? Now 18 months later, it looks quite credible. So bottom line is we are seeing such an investment because the AI opportunity, the way I like to think about it, is kind of the final frontier relative to technology. When you think about what could be beyond AI, it's really hard to imagine. So also the fact that AI has really had very little penetration, let's say into large enterprise or into our health systems or things around drug discovery. So there's a long runway. I think people are a little nervous about it, as decidedly so, because we've not seen it before, right? We've not seen the order of magnitude we're talking about. So it's somewhat natural to look at it and say, well, gravity's got to hit it sometime. But then if you little intellectually look at it and say, my gosh, is AI going to be something that will change and transform how everything's done? Well, of course. And then there's going to be investment to support that. And that's what we're saying.
CEO Renee Haas speaking to Bloomberg's Caroline High. Let's take a look at how U.S. assets are faring as well, following the tech rout, which is pointing to further declines. There is a bid for payments on the way as we see continued deterioration in the U.S. labor market. This chart also shows that we are seeing this German jobless claim slide and job openings, a surge in job cut announcements, driving the demand for safe havens anyway. This is Bloomberg.
Whatever you normally pay is fine. All I'm gonna do is hide it from my girlfriend, okay? If she sees it, it will disappear.
It's the President's Day sale at BrandSmart, and we've got the lowest prices in town. Level up your sleep on a new Sealy Posture-Heated Queen mattress for $5.99. Revamp your whole bedroom set for just $299.99. Score an entire living room with a
Have a blessed day. We'll see you in a few weeks, okay? God bless.
Act now and get 0% interest for 60 months on all furniture and mattresses. BrandSmart USA. Favorite brands, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Are you between the ages of 50 and 85? Then listen up, because we have fantastic news from Colonial Penn. You automatically qualify for guaranteed acceptance life insurance with coverage options starting at $9.95 a month. Your loved ones could get up to $25,000 to spend however they need. They can use this money to help them cover final expenses, funeral costs, unpaid debts, and more. Remember, if you are between the ages of 50 and 85, your acceptance is guaranteed. You cannot be turned down because of your health. That means no medical exams or health questions. The application is fast and easy, so you can get approved in just one call. Plus, your premium will never increase and your coverage will never decrease thanks to our rate lock guarantee.
With Colonial Penn, you're getting coverage from a company that's been trusted for over 60 years. So join almost 600,000 customers by calling 1-800-996-1254 right now.
Our licensed insurance agents are ready to help you. Simply pick up the phone, request your personalized quote, and enroll today. Still not sure if this is the right plan for you? Don't worry. Colonial Penn offers a 30-day trial period. If you aren't happy, you can return your policy within 30 days and get your money back. Coverage options start at just $9.95 a month, and your acceptance is guaranteed if you are between 50 and 85 years old. No matter your health, if you are in that age range, you will be covered without any health questions or medical exams. Don't wait to protect your family's future. Call now and we'll help you find a plan today so you and your loved ones can have peace of mind tomorrow.
Call 1-800-996-1254 to get your free, no obligation quote. That's 1-800-996-1254. Once again, that's 1-800-996-1254. Call now.
Take a look at how Japanese assets are setting up for the market opens in less than half an hour. We're seeing the Japanese yen holding steady at that 156 level, very close to 157, and really headed towards that 160 level that has been seen by many as potentially an intervention level by authorities. And you can see Nikkei futures pointing to the downside. We had some negative sentiment coming from the earnings season, but also, of course, we're watching that tech sell-off in the U.S. GGBs actually gained in the previous session. We had a solid 30-year auction, but of course, all eyes right now on the fiscal picture for Japan as we're headed towards an election. Actually, take a look at what's at stake for Japan and Prime Minister Takaichi in Sunday's vote.
国民の皆様、私は本日内閣総理大臣として
Just 3 months into the job, Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi dissolved Japan's lower house, calling a fresh vote for February 8th.
衆議院を解散する。
Coming from a string of election setbacks for the ruling Liberal Democratic Party, Takaichi is aiming to capitalize on high public support and increase her majority in the more powerful lower house. Some recent polls show an approval rating of more than 60%.
I think Takaichi is really in an extremely enviable position. I mean, her support rates have been consistently extremely high. And I think that it's going to do quite a lot for her in this election.
A stronger mandate would make it easier for Takaichi to push through her agenda, including higher defense spending and the largest supplemental budget since the pandemic. But the road to victory might not be straightforward. The LDP's alliance with Koneto fractured last year, ending a 26-year political partnership. The realignment injects new uncertainty into Japan's electoral dynamics. Voters, though, are more focused on the cost of living. Inflation has stayed above the Bank of Japan's 2% target for more than 3 years, while wages lag and a weak yen pushes up import costs, giving a sense of falling living standards. To ease the pressure, Takaichi pledged to suspend the 8% sales tax on food for 2 years.
Oyasai more. Maybe it's because of the weather, but the price of vegetables, some are just shocking, aren't they? Even things like snacks and chocolate, their prices haven't doubled yet, but they've suddenly gone up quite a bit. Same with rice.
I
wish they stopped just talking about tax cuts or eliminate the consumption tax during the election season and actually put realistic measures into practice.
The stakes are high. An increased majority would give Takaichi a green light to pursue what supporters call a more assertive Japan, with higher defense spending and state-led investment. But a loss of seats would be a self-inflicted wound for the new prime minister, who has said she would step down as party leader if that happens. Even before ballots are cast, markets are reacting. The yen has wavered and the government bond yields have risen, reflecting investor unease over Japan's fiscal path.
Since October of last year, we have taken a very responsible approach to public finance, talking about responsible, sustainable, and proactive fiscal policies. We are not talking about expansionary fiscal policies, and this is demonstrated by some of the numbers that we see. So I ask the market participants to calm down.
Japanese stocks have already outperformed many of their peers as investors focus on the so-called Takaichi trade. Ariel Bozetto, Bloomberg, Tokyo.
Let's get more perspective on the upcoming elections here in Japan. Rafia Eri is a member of the ruling LDP, serving as the parliamentary vice minister for foreign affairs. She is the first Japanese lawmaker of Uyghur and Uzbek descent and previously had roles at the Bank of Japan and the UN Secretariat. She joins us now. Thank you so much for making the time during your busy election schedule. I know that you've been speaking to all of your constituents. What's important for Japanese voters right now as they head to the polls? And is the LDP doing enough to address those concerns?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's right in the middle of election season. I'm on my smartphone, so I apologize for the screen. But I'm going around my constituency, and what they are concerned about economic sustainability. They're concerned about rising cost of living, inflation, but they're also concerned about Japan's role in the world. I think Prime Minister Takaichi coming to her position and leading our country as the first female Prime Minister of Japan, I think has inspired so many people. And her approach to diplomacy, her successes in her high-level diplomacy has really inspired the Japanese people. And they're just as interested in our approach to diplomacy, national security, as they are in economics as well.
I'm concerned about my future and what I need to accomplish. So everything comes down to preparation.
One of the best things ever is pension and retirement.
It's good to know your future is protected and have the freedom to pay it forward.
I'm ready for whatever comes next. You're free to fully focus on right now.
Hi. The wedding is this Saturday. Are these for someone else?
Yes.
Okay, what about the first date?
Yeah.
So you're saying Charlie is your first love? Yeah. First love or your first love? Both? Wait, is that the same sign?
I want to say this thing about love. It's very cute, but it's also supposed to be.
Alright, so before we got married, we did this thing where we set the list.
Dion.
Also minus the old
Boy,
What did you do?
going.
Some beer bottles in the stores. Yeah.
Okay,
Are you serious?
I'm sorry,
Emma, what the fuck? Am I sensing from your remember? Really well.
That was nice. VIP. Please have a seat. Make yourself at home. Welcome, Mama. How are you guys doing? Good afternoon. Yo, by the grace of God, everything is good. So we're chilling. Let's hang up your sweater, brother, so we don't get any hairs on it. Yeah. I have, if you check behind you, Mama, if you open that door, there's a hanger right there. Where you can put it right there in the bottom. It'll hold. It's just a pin, but it'll hold. Not close to the morning sun, I'm even help you today. We'll do a trim on top. Trim on the top? No, we'll do like a 2 around the crown. Or 2 around the crown. Would you like for me to taper it under the number 2 sides in the back and outline everything natural square cut?
Yeah.
Yeah? Would you like for us to trim your eyebrows today?
Nah.
No? Hey, what are we doing with the beard? Do you want me to just clean the outside, or do you want to remove some of the length that comes off the skin?
And of course, you have a lot of insight on the state of diplomatic
You know,
relations,
because at least
especially
clean the outside
in the foreign
lines, then
affairs
you go home
ministry,
and
but
put the ring in the
also as you
bottom.
grew up in China as well. Tensions between China and Japan have risen recently. How do you expect that relationship to unfold under a new mandate by Prime
If you need
Minister
to raise your hand, I
Takaichi?
can hear you, but very low, okay? I'm going to travel to the future. I'll be right back.
Well, if she is re-elected, that means that there is a
And let me program this
for
one.
our continued stance on her policies.
This right here, I'm very, very impressed. This is probably the
Your
best.
vehicles
Other
starting
than
to
the Cat
hesitate.
Williams one,
Miles per gallon
the
going
best
down.
interview I think he's
Or is
done.
that idle getting
Well, let's say for
not age,
26,
God.
because the Cat Williams one was crazy.
On street level. Hey, I didn't know it was less than 40 pills.
What?
I was killing myself for sure. I thank God every day that I experienced that at the time that I did, because that was before that. What any wrong is now we doing and how undetectable it is. To do that, I learned I'm killing something. I forget.
Running on my life.
Hustle paper price, one slice. Got to roll the dice, that's why all my life. I've been grinding all my life, yeah. All my life, grinding all my life, yeah. Sacrifice, hustle paper price, one slice. Got to roll the dice, that's why all my life. I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Club Shay Shay on the Road. I am your host, Shannon Sharp, the guy that's talking about the conversation on the drink today. Is one of the most trusted, influential leading voices in hip-hop media with a loyal fan base of millions. He's one of the few hip-hop artists to transition successfully in the digital media space without compromising his voice. He's built a thriving independent media empire, a podcast powerhouse and trailblazer, a media titan, industry veteran, a cultural critic, a revolutionary hip-hop commentator, Grammy-nominated rapper, a savvy business owner, multifaceted entrepreneur, polarizing creator, unfiltered entertainer, unapologetic commentator, electrifying host, captivating personality, successful broadcaster, and admired artist, a media mogul, the Podfather, Joe Budden. You right? Yeah, thank you, man. You remember we were just talking about you like, man, I ain't been in the business that long. I said, well, okay, I gave you a couple extra years, but you really be like, started playing it back in the day. You're right, no, you're right. And then as I'm listening to your introduction, I'm like, man, it has been a long travel road. Man, listen, you do what you did. That looks a little stuff. That shape out the 48. You want to do the one? I feel like the one up that I told you. Here we go. My man. Well, you shook up the internet when you accidentally, I don't know if you accidentally or intentionally, you was trying to show, look, I'm doing this thing my way, and you actually didn't admit that you make X amount of $100,000 million a month. What were you hoping to do in the process of doing that? Did you want to show that look, you can do it on your own, or what was the purpose of you doing what you did on? Well, the message is always that you can do it on your own. When people want to hear that. In that moment, I was just tracking the growth. Yes, I was sitting there just like I said, it's been a really long travel. Right. So I think it was the impressions is what I was trying. Yeah. It was somewhere else. You got to block the other part out, huh? No, you know what? We blocked it, but we own dinosaurs. They unblocked it. Right. They unblocked it, and I got a lot of phone calls, but God is in charge. So that ultimately, a lot of good came from it. And again, we share information. It's not meant to be here. Listen to this. What made you decide to go to Patreon? Because there are a lot. I mean, you own YouTube audio. You got Apple. You got your platform is vast, so you got a lot of different people can consume the Joe Budden podcast on a lot of different platforms. Why was it so important for you to go that route? At the time, that was we had a high move in ourselves. Before we get a conference at Spotify. And we had a lot of data that told the story. So at the end of the time, you listen to all which we did. We listened to everybody. But ultimately, we went out the garbage. Where could I be paid? Where could I celebrate in the growth of my own show that I haven't had? Did you feel like if you had taken one of these deals, then they feel like they can what Joe Budden can talk about, how Joe Budden can use the show, the growth of the show, because you use it as you want to because you're the sole proprietor, you're the sole owner of the show. So if you want to add somebody under your umbrella, I can do that without having to ask for permission. Well, you know what, Church, anybody we partner with, they never really tend to look at me. Yes. Isn't that right? We just learning, right? And at every time that I was learning about how podcasting was paid and how advertising works and CPMs and all of this other shit, I never jived with any of it. Right. I never jived with any of that. And I was able to, because my show was so large, kind of have my own say. Yeah. So it was complex negotiating the advertising deals with the sales teams. And whatever the time was in my contract, as much as I did participate, even though the ad was contingent upon my participation.
Correct.
Big problem.
Yeah.
Big problem.
Because you doing all the work, you doing all the ad read. People want to hear Joe Budden. They want to hear Joe Budden. It's not the same as just implanting in there. They want to hear Joe do that.
And that's the part that often gets like twisted up when I say that this is only applicable if your replacement list is like short, because they can always replace you.
Correct.
They can always replace you. Yeah, I mean, it's my job to make it damn hard for them to do that. Right. Spotify is more concerned with their advertisements for us. We were getting bursting with whatever, thousands of shows.
Right.
Yeah, we were one of the first. One or two. And then you got bursting with all these thousands of shows which all shopped and came back with a spread out. I don't job with that.
You're the most popular.
I don't job with that.
You're the most popular. You're the biggest. But you want us, these other mini shows, yeah, you give us a tiny bump, but it's not, this is not market. I wouldn't market, I wouldn't get free agency. Because free agency is, I can hit when the market bears. And not just run in because I'm under this umbrella.
Well, and now you take it to the next point, which is you go kick ass and whatever person you have it. And then at the end of the time, you have to negotiate the value of it.
Yes.
And a lot of times, y'all are in charge of dictating what that looks like on your consumer base. I don't drive with that. I never drive with that. So Patreon, for us, was the best. Because we were able to get equity, we were able to participate in the growth of this partnership, and we were able to just put it in the hands of me and my fans, which has always been the case with me. Right. I always want to do that.
When you wanted the birth to go, you on Patreon?
No, not on Patreon. On Patreon, I wasn't one of the first Patreons that I ran for a while. Before I signed my Spotify, you were Patreon was now.
Okay. But you didn't really know anything about it because the podcast thing, I'm only been in it for like 5 years though. And so I remember CJ, who was my producer, he was at Fox. Because I got into this because Fox rented it to my deal. And so even though I had it in my deal, we weren't doing anything. COVID happened. And it's like, well, we would like to, because we got it in your deal, we'd like for you to do a podcast. So I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? It's like, and CJ was like, well, call the most famous people in your phone and ask if they were really willing to come on the show. Now, at that time, there was no in-person, so we had to do everything virtually. I had Floyd Mayweather, had Snoop Dogg, had Ice Cube, had Rick Ross, had this one and that one. And so that's how I started. But I was like, this ain't nothing. He said, no, there's money in it. I said, well, they ain't tell me nothing about no money. They just say, I need to do this because it was written in my contract. And so, but I did go back. I said, look,
bienvenido.
CJ, so I didn't want to get in trouble. I said, well, I think there's money in this. The only person I knew that was getting money in podcasting was Joe Rogan at the time because he was so big. But I was like, Joe Rogan. So what's the money? And then once you start doing it and you start doing a lot of things on your own, you start to see like, hold on. There's the YouTube, and then you get the programmatic for the ads that they place. Then you can place ads yourself. I was like, there really is money in this.
So it's a whole other world. It's a whole other world.
But as you said, that was not something they were going to tell me.
Hell no. Hell no. They tell you that. No way.
But you said they gave you equity stake. So is that what you look for when you look to do any partnership? Are you looking for an equity stake, or are you just looking to take the money up front?
I'm just looking to just take the money up front.
Okay.
We would have advanced conversations in the background. I'm not saying that no deal can get done without me having equity, but I asked for it today, right? Because the podcast and the podcast community is its own economy, and I'm seeing the effect of what a partnership does. We were asked about it before it went public. We understood what they were trying to do at the time to funnel money away from using people. Say podcast don't play a really pivotal role. That's why I never want to undersell it because it is low budget or the word podcast.
Somehow it's developed a negative connotation, Joe. Why is that?
You know what? And listen, when I started, it was a negative connotation. They kicked my ass for it, but it does. Today, it's stigmatized. They do tend to hear that word, and kind of just compartmentalize it, put it in its own space.
Because a lot of the big, like A-list celebs, they look at podcasts like, that ain't no real TV show. But if you look at Netflix is starting to get involved in podcasting. You saw Amazon get involved in podcasting. You see these big conglomerates. Listen, if it wasn't what is growing, they ain't wasting no time.
Long before Netflix, some of the shows that were brought up on these streaming apps, television shows, the models were based around a podcast.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times on Hulu that would say, inspired by this podcast, or it would start with a podcast. So it was broad, and television shows would even make mention of things that they would hear on the podcast. But you're right, how it's looked at and what people be able to hear are very different. Because nobody really knows how anybody's getting paid.
Right.
I think that has a large part to do with it too. All you ever hear, I mean, today you hear all these numbers. People know that there's a way to get their money correct, but they can't figure out how.
They don't really know how to get started. And then a lot of people just think, well, Joe Budden making $20 million. I should make at least 15. They don't understand. You didn't start out making $20 million. There's a gradual process, but everybody wants to skip the process. Now, Joe, everybody just wants to go straight to be the CEO. Don't nobody want to clean. Don't nobody want to work the desk job. Nobody wants to work the mailroom. And then man, all you do is work. And so when they come, I'm sure you heard it. They come to you, man, got this idea on a podcast. I say, so how often you want to do it? Well, I just want to shoot like 10, 12 episodes a year. What? Yeah. And so you think that's going to work? You want 10 to 12 episodes a year, but you want how much?
That part. How much money do you want for those 10 episodes?
I'm like, bro.
That's why I don't even know how to give advice anymore, because and I do it. We do different podcasts, and we have a talk. But sometimes those talks are rather on episode 8, saying, well, here's the money I got every day. And I'm like, it may be a path for that, but that wasn't my way. No, I did this for years. A lot of that, I did this when a lot of the thoughts and ideas we had were way ahead of technology, and then we had to wait for everybody to catch up. We had to wait for the additives to catch up. So, I don't know how to get things by episode 8. I don't.
Right. There is no money in episode 8. And because now everybody's starting to see there's a pathway, everybody's getting in it, so it's becoming a very saturated market now. So you got to be really, really good. Like, look, if Jim Zale and Sam Jackson started a podcast, people are going to tune in at first. Now, the first episode, and then how can you check? Because that's the hard part, Joe. People listen. Can you get them to come back? Can you get them to come back to do it?
Listen, can you say a million A-list celebrities start podcast or make the big podcast announcement or go to the big bag and never deliver an episode? Nope. Not one. I'm not saying I'm getting fired. I'm saying they're not. To be a podcast, we still be a podcast. Like you can count on the Joe Budden podcast to drop twice a week in 2 weeks. I'm gonna do it. Right. So you're not gonna get into it. Y'all play the headline game. You're gonna play the stock game. They had no intention of doing it.
Especially when COVID came out, Joe. Oh my God, there was nothing. There was really nothing. The studios couldn't shoot. Well, we got to get something out. Hey, Joe. Hey, we got this big one. Okay, yeah. I thought Joe had a podcast. I thought Joe was going to drop this such and such. They took the money and ran. And then, like, bro, it's a grind. And people don't realize how hard you got to work and what goes into it, Joe. People really just think you and your group, y'all just show up and just no, you got to run down. You got a direction in which we want to go. We got to get in and out. We got to direct traffic. It's not that simple. When people don't see how food is made, they think it's easy to cook. But if you watch your grandmother or your aunt or your mom cook, you realize that plate ain't just getting on the table in 20 minutes.
She's in prepping.
Yes.
She's in prepping.
You all night.
Yes, right.
And then you really took it to a next level. You're like, you know what? I'm going to have my own ad team. I'm not going to rely on some of the others that have advertisers that they come to you, and then by the time it gets to you, you get 60%, as opposed to like, you know what, I have my own ad team, and I'll get the whole 100%, and they give them a percentage of how you do it. What made you decide to go that route?
In the front, overall natural. Keep everything natural, the size in the back, right?
Ads started.
So nothing in the front, right?
Just like how I listen to podcasts and how I was a rapper, I used to hate promo. I used to absolutely enjoy promotion. I'm not gonna lie to you. When an album was coming out, I would promo it. And when I was listening to podcasts and the ad would pop up, I didn't necessarily enjoy that. Right. I didn't like that. I didn't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation. Which I couldn't understand anymore at the time. So yeah, so the check. And I tried at first, and I'm talking this is around 2015, 2016, 2015, 2016. I tried to conduct the shit, and nobody knew where money was coming from the podcast. So if this ad came for whatever the money was, it was shorts. But the thing was, if you pack in a bunch of those, you can see that you make some money. I did that. I put them all up. Whatever the read was, I was totally off screen, laughed at them. Told him to call me and stay. I think it was TalkSpace or somebody. It was a mess. But from there again, how I moved was because the audience was so large and it was growing year over year. So I mean, it was cheaper to just hoe around and add yourself to that versus nurturing a relationship with a brand that you understood, that understood you. And again, maybe it's just trauma from Black people and how I view the word shock jock, right? Because you participate in all the success, but anytime something happens off script, you're so quick to toss us to the side, all types of words and these contrasts. I didn't never jive with that, right? I never jived with that. So, no, I forgot where I was. Yeah, no, but you were saying that why you decided to like do your own.
That's the ads. So yeah, we were blessed enough to have some really good partnerships with some people for years and years and years, and cultivate on both sides, and and you do this thing. You start to do it, and you start to reap the benefits of the independent company that's out here putting in work versus the ads team, the sales team. And then that's always the thing too. It's whatever your beef is with whoever you partnered with, at some point they're gonna put it on the sales team if you start having the right conversation. We're like, all right, let me come talk to the sales team. Right. And let's have a conversation. Then we get on the phone with some of these people. Right. And yeah, but edgy content.
The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get on with the football action before the season ends. Close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineup when you play your first $5. The playoffs have been electric. Drake May all damn day, going all the way. I got my eyes on May Dig for the big game. More passing touchdowns, more receiving yards, more. New feature alert. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Buy your community-owned Prize Picks with the new social easy feature. You can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups for winners with a single click. Copy lineups like you for inspiration for your own picks. You can also follow Prize Picks partners like us and they don't pay our picks with just one click. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just download the Prize Picks app. Use code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Shannon to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Too good to be right. The thing was, I didn't really understand because as a consumer, I was like, man, as soon as it get good, here's my ad. Damn, TV. I just want to let's keep it going because it's really good. And then you understood, well, that's how they make money. Yeah. And people like, man, you running all these ads. I say, so how do you think a graphics team and a producer and an editor and social media, how do you think I pay these people? That's how it gets paid. These cameras cost money. Everything costs money. It does. Everything. And people don't understand. I say this talent costs money. People don't work for free. TikTok edit is going to cost money. Your Snapchat edit is going to cost money.
any new camera, any new lens, any picture that you see, the thumbnail, yes, everything.
And I don't know how much you guys travel or get on the road, Joe.
Oh, then there's that. But I mean, I try not to because it gets expensive. But then there's that.
And that's, and like you said, I mean, for us, is that what we try to do if we have to be somewhere, we try to kill two birds with one stone. Well, let's see, since we got to be somewhere for nightcap, well, let's see if we can do something for Club Shake Shake. Well, if I got to do something for Club Shake Shake, let's see if we can get somebody for nightcap. That's the way you try to work it, to try to cut down on some of the costs. But I don't think people understand that to make a successful podcast, it costs money.
You got damn right. You better be willing. You got to believe in yourself. You
got
to have to invest in yourself. Yeah, you got to make it work.
Since the Joe Budden is like taking off and going into another stratosphere, have you been able to treat yourself? I mean, maybe a new whip, bigger house out in Jersey. I know you like watches.
I'm still watching some watches like that.
I can't tell. Yeah, I do that.
I see it now. I see it now. Not recently, no. Not recently. I did that a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then bought the Ferrari and bought the whatever. Yeah, what's next? I did that. I had a year of cars. I don't drive. I got my chauffeur. It's just like,
you gotta drive. You got somebody to drive. So why am I buying these cars to sit up in the garage?
I mean, and I love my cars. I love my truck. But I did it. Felt good. I'm off now.
Over and done with that
process of then rebuilding my home,
dream home.
Yeah, I'm in the process of that. That's exciting and headache, but exciting.
It's funny how you Spotify say, Joe, we got 2 mil for you. Do your podcast over here, 2 million. You're like, oh. And I think you stayed. We was with Spotify for like a year, 2 years. 2 years.
Didn't ask that.
And it's not that they would give it to me. It's not that they would have given it. Yes. You gotta that's not like it. So you gotta ask. You gotta ask. All you gotta do is say no. Let them say no. Because you hear these stories of Beyonce performing for Google. She like, they won't give her money. She's like, nah, I'm gonna have it. Okay. And that point. Nah, same thing.
For guys, that's another strong word. On the top, just like a light trim, correct? Just a little bit off the top?
That's the biggest thing, though, is that early on, we didn't know what we didn't know. Now we know, we can ask. They can just say, we just like, okay. Like we said, I ain't turning down no big check, but I got to at least ask to take a little smaller version if I can get a cut of the equity in the growth of the company. Because we both believe. You believe in me, I believe in you. Let's participate. Let's grow together.
Yeah, and at some point, if you do it enough times, we pass proof of concept stage. I'm done convincing people what's going to happen.
Yeah,
like I've seen what happens too many times when you pair this podcast with this company. I know what's going to happen. So no, if you don't understand what's going to happen, if you're not willing to pay for what's going to happen, then you can't participate in what's going to happen.
I like that. That's a good business breakdown. I like that. I know I'm Jewish, so I'm not technically working today. I'm teaching. And that's a very good insight right there. Meaning, if let's say you're a movie star and the movie studio doesn't believe in you, they don't want to put you in Transformers, fine. I'll go be a Jedi for Disney or something. You know what I mean? I'll go where I'm going to be appreciated. That's like, if you put me in the Star Wars movie and you don't put me in the video game, I am needed. I'm suing you. Like, look what you did to my character. You know what I mean?
The corner suite. Like, I'm going to have the information to be able to best make the next decision. And that's how I ended up learning about what went on with the ads and how they were being sold and how they were being funneled to me. And I just believed that I should participate differently once I heard that. I had no idea of the money that was flying around because we're not supposed to have the money that's flying around. But once I heard it, it was over. And I was like, well, what happens if I don't wear this level? Sneaker was at the time, and they were pulling out.
Big money. Yeah. Oh no. I don't jive with that. I don't jive with that. And from there, everything was education after that. From there, everything was education, learning what people are paying, learning what they're paying for, how they value it, how they're benefiting from it. Like you just said, it's education. Yeah. But yo, at the time, you turned down, allegedly, a big deal from Spotify, over $40 million. That's a lot of money. That is enough. It was a substantial amount. Probably more than you ever had. Yeah, you're like, and to just to walk away from that, Joe, and to believe in yourself, to say, you know what? And somebody, who did I hear say? Well, Master P. Master P said, when they offered me $1 million, well, if they offered me $1 million, I must be worth about 50 to 100. Yeah, on songs, yeah. So, is that how you were thinking? If they're offering me this substantial amount of money, I've got to be worth a little bit more, because they ain't looking to break even. They're looking to turn a profit. So if they'll give you that kind of money, what kind of profit are they expected to turn? Well, at Spotify, again, craving information. The 2 years I was there, we did a lot of asking for advanced analytics, a different kind of dashboard, different codes to be able to track things that were specific to your show, like Slash Joe Budden. So we got this data for 2 years. At the end of that road, you can take this 30 million or whatever the number was, or you can trust in what the data is saying. If you go out there and just do the work, if that says that for the last 2 years, and you trust the audience and what you want, I'm going to take these people with me over here and see what happens. And by the grace of God, it worked out, man. It worked out, but a lot of tough decision making, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of turmoil, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of public bullshit, a lot of mistakes. But I mean, I trust people. When you see Joe Rogan get a deal, Alex Cooper, Kelsey Brothers, The Ringer just sold white people. Damn, Joe, you ain't even let me finish. Okay, well, go ahead. There's no need for me. There's no need for me to be starting the conversation. There ain't. I'm not. I won't never a time where I'm comparing my race to a white man's race. Right. The reason that it's obvious. I mean, it is obvious. It is obvious. My fight is different from their fight. Yes. And I don't say that angry about it, but I mean, I acknowledge it. Yes. We understand. Yeah. But let's not make it seem like, and I don't need to either, right? Okay. I don't need to. Here's Steve Harvey. Yep. There is Charlamagne, is on that list. There is Kevin Hart has a podcast that there is Kevin Hart. There is my brother Stephen A. On that list. There are blank examples of what happens when you own your ID. This is blank examples for that. And congrats to Alex. I'm big Bill guy. Love Bill. Shout out to Joe. That's cool, but blank examples. If they came to you and offered you something like that, would you be willing to turn over? Says, okay, I'll do X amount of shows for this amount of money. Y'all sell whatever. Y'all gonna give me X. I'm cool with it. Wait, who said that? If, let's just say a Spotify, one of these big conglomerates, right now Netflix, Amazon is still, they don't do as much as they once did. What was that, Wonder and Wave and all those guys? They say, Joe, we're going to take up the Joe Budden, we're going to take up the umbrella. We're going to give you X amount of dollars. And then we're going to sell everything. Kind of like what they do with Joe Rogan. I think Joe got a 5-year, $250 million deal. So when they come to Joe Rogan, we come to Joe, say, Joe, we got a 5-year, $200 million deal. We just want to take over everything. I would never have. I'm 45. Like, I still feel spry. I still feel like I don't feel like the agent artist that used to go sell together. Okay. I take the and I'm building.
catalog. Yeah, I'm doing a catalog. Well, and I know what I make right now. So
They have a double that up.
and we'll talk to anybody. I mean, don't get me wrong. We'll talk to anybody, and probably we are talking to most of them.
Right.
But continue would have to be critique.
Are you looking to scale? Are you looking to have more of instead, like say like Netflix? They're getting podcasts and trying to develop their podcast division. Or you look at some of these other Amazon who's trying to develop their podcast division. Is that what you're trying to do with Joe Budden? Are you trying to develop a podcast division where you have, obviously somebody in baby hip hop, and then somebody in motivation, and somebody in fitness, and somebody in relationship? Are you trying? Is that the direction that you're trying to go in?
Maybe right now I'm focused on getting as many eyes as possible on the Joe Budden podcast and our exclusive content that we drop on Patreon. And from that, we have other shows. We have Pod Lines, which is a huge success. We have the Mark show. Like, I want to be nimble enough, Shannon, to always be able to go do a show.
Right.
Whether that be a finance show or a sports show. I want to be nimble enough and have the staff in place to any idea that we think of, we can go execute, whether it be a doc, whether it be a comedy, whatever it is. So I always want to do that. Right this second.
Welcome back to yourself, sir. When you came to the South, you look like one of your cousins. We didn't know who it was. Because this is where we live. Sometimes
after watching that close break for a loss a few years back, I saw how quickly Creed turned the financial stress. No one deserved that feeling I saw him feel, and I mean no one. No matter what I offered to help, it wasn't enough. I promised my family I would never make them feel the same way my buddy felt. Trust me, that experience of watching a close friend go through financial stress while grieving changed how I think about protecting my family. Life
whatever you normally
about
pay is fine.
worth.
All I'm going to do is hide it from my girlfriend, okay? If she sees it, it will disappear.
That's why we at Love Shay Shay recommend life insurance through Ethos. Ethos makes life insurance fast and easy, 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and the same day coverage. How much easier can protecting your loved ones get? There's no
I do have a cash app. It is $, Venom R1 wins. So Venom the whole word, and then just R1 like this.
And up to $3 million in wins.
You'll see me as an artist. It'll have some of the promotion with gravity.
Again, that's ethos.com.
You see me on my long
application time and rates may vary. In the process of scaling, if you scale, are you saying, okay, I have the Joe Budden podcast, but I don't need to be a part of everything that's going on?
I'm famous overseas, not in America. I don't exist here.
And hopefully, yes. And hopefully. Well, like you said, you like, and I'm young, I'm spry, and listen to you talk, and I see how you're like, man, I'm just 45. You get excited to get up out of bed and go do what you do every day. And that's the kind of motivation that you got to have to be successful. I'm living it absolutely.
Very good for you. All right. Thank you guys. Have a blessed day. We'll see you next time, okay? Dios lo bendiga. Thank you so much.
Eat, dream, and shit. Music as a music writer. Right? My favorite song enough to I do love this. I'm talking to my friends. I'm talking to somebody who wasn't school and work, and then my story. I don't come from that. That's right. From my start to where I am. Why would you not do that? Why would you slow down? Why would you not dedicate every second to this shit? Especially that's before you get to reaping the fruits.
Yes.
Be right back.
That's awesome. But just how could you not? What's the alternative?
Because I think the thing is for you, Joe, and kind of myself, is that we found something that we really love doing. How many people out there really enjoy going to their job?
Well, today, I think that number should be projected to change if you look at the next 10 years. Okay, but today, but I encourage everybody out there to find something to be passionate about. Right. Like, even if you go into work every day, still, when you get off work, do something that you're passionate about, right, for that to ignite that other shit that's in you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, how many times you heard something, man, I hate this job. She'll be glad when the shift over. It's hard to do that for 20, 30. And a lot of people do that, Joe. We found something. Look, I was a professional athlete. I enjoyed it. You was in the rap game. You enjoyed it. And everybody doesn't get to transition. Everybody doesn't get to have something they enjoy doing. And then find something else they enjoy doing just as much, if not more. Not more. Yeah. You and I have been very, very blessed. A whole lot of people aren't blessed like that, Joe. Yeah. Don't try to trick me in the sense. No, but they're not. But it's true. It's true. Listen, go ahead. As much as eggs cost, to have a job, it's not just about me. A couple of years myself. No, honestly, and if you live in New York is expensive. New York, New Jersey, it is criminal what is going on out here. I just left California after 8 years. You ain't got to tell me. Man, oh my Lord. So if you can feed yourself and shelter yourself, you're blessed. If you're healthy, then you're blessed. We're blessed in a different way. Yeah. In a different way. But that's not the norm. No. That's not the norm. And I'm not even going to sit here and pitch it like it is. For the longest time, YouTube was the only really space that podcasts lived. They're still big with the ads, but you see Netflix coming in, and they got boatloads of money. Should YouTube be worried? You asking me? Yeah. Because YouTube wants to be a network, Netflix wants to be a network, but Joe, you know this. In order for you to be considered a network, you have to have live sporting events. And what have YouTube done? They got the NFL. What has Netflix done? Got the NFL. Amazon, what did they do? Get NFL and basketball. So if you want to be taken serious, Amazon got UFC. Right. So at WWE, you see where they're going with this? Yeah, no, they're playing big boy games. Yeah, up there with big boy dollars for sure. And YouTube has always operated as the lone whale in the sea. Everybody was there already because that's where the eyes were, and that was back since way back. So now, right, you have somebody over there should have seen so many stars. They should have seen the kids doing baby music. They should have seen the lo-fi music channel guy. They should have saw the before there was no Tubi. They should have saw the small independent movie guys, the director guys, the podcasters. You had them all. So now we're in 2026. Eventually, somebody else in the sea had a dick. Yeah, somebody else had a wallet, and now they see what you. Well, they may see more than you see. They may have to find out about that. But there's somebody else with a checkbook that's coming to pull your biggest. And not just they're coming to pull from everybody coming from. Right? That was Barstool, that was Volume, that was iHeart, and wherever they pulled from. If I were YouTube, I would be concerned about what that meant for, again, not today, but everything's projections. 10 years, 5 to 10 years from now, right? What does that mean? My little sister right now is 12 years old, and the next 5 to 10, you're talking about 17, 22 years old. How is she going to be consuming things? How is that age group going to digest? Where are they going to go? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But if I were YouTube, I'd be able to think about it. Wow. Good friend of yours, you guys go back and forth. Charlemagne, $200 million to do.
Whoa, 200. Hector, it's on Talk with Fleet, or it is what it is? On which podcast is it? Is it on Talk with Fleet, or is it on the app? Talk with Fleet? I'm going to put it right now. Just stay like shut up, man. Like a crazy glass. Don't let it miss. Don't let it stain. Yo. Okay, wait. I got this. Let's see.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Talk with Flea, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. It's been a great start to the year. I got my man Freaky CB in the building today. Zeke was there, of course, man. Larry's here. We got City on City was good, baby. How you? What's up, my man? Everything good, man. So, before me and City and Larry start talking,
I admire you, man. Hey, that's what's up.
told me I have another female coming on the show today that I used to deal with in the past. I don't know if he's a hotline for my own chicks that I used to deal with. I don't know why they happen to be reaching out to him. We'll discuss that on later. But a lot of people seen the video with a female I used to, or we'll just say last episode for Talking to Flea. People seen that episode. And it seems like a blast from the past is now all calling City. So we'll have another conversation with another young lady I used to deal with later on in the show. But we'll get to that later on. So what we got going on today? What's on line one, baby?
Did you catch a little flack from last week from the public? You think there was a lot of mixed emotions out there? Did you call it a little flack?
I'll be bugging, man.
Yeah.
What's flack?
Like, you shouldn't do females like that and blah, 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 like, shit like that. Did you catch some flack, brother? How do you feel about it?
The whole thing about it is, even if flack was around, I ain't catching it. I let that shit go flying. I wasn't catching nothing. So, at the end of the day, no, I didn't catch any flack. Now, you talking about all jokes aside, all seriousness. Understand that it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the topic is, especially when it comes to women sticking together. Women stick together. And, of course, you had a lot of females as well saying that, you're right. I don't know what she put this time of her, but you have females on her side as well. You have a group of females that sometimes generally don't like me because of music, because I killed Mitch in the movie. Niggas don't like my actions. It's just a group of females that don't like me. Then it's a group of females that love me for being honest and being the nigga that I am. So you got mixed emotion when it comes to females. But I tell you one thing, I got some phone calls from some people last week, and the people that called me about it, which I won't say, made me feel good about that. So they're pretty prominent people that called me about it. And they made me feel good about it. So I don't have no regrets about doing the episode whatsoever. I didn't ask for this episode. This was something that you and her put together on my platform. When you don't speak to somebody for however many years, and the first time you speak to them, it may not go good. I thought it went well for me, but it was very hostile on their part. I didn't get emotional. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming. The only thing that I got emotional about was my dead friends at the end. Even then, I didn't get too emotional. I just ended the picture. But no, I don't feel any type of way. We would do it over again. I would do it.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see later what happens on Therapy with Flea.
Yeah, but let me ask you guys, how did you feel about the interview last week?
I think it was all right. I think it was an understanding that a female need to learn how to take accountability for certain things, because she seemed like she was using her problems and just was throwing it on you. It's like how female do. It's like a boomerang deflect, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Basically.
I'm a little fat, so I caught all the flack. Get away. They call me all the time. Like, here your man go again. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, well, tell me.
First of all, just always your female friends are calling and saying, talk about me.
Yeah. They go like, here you go, your man go again. You know what I'm saying? The women, I'm like, yo, tell me what he did wrong. I mean,
it was a bad investment. He didn't want to invest in that. And then when I broke it down, but just the way he do it. And I'd be like, whatever. I'll see you later. Get some donuts. Get out of here. Scram.
That's what I'm talking about right there, Larry. Exactly, right? So let's just use what Larry said about it, right? Just females on. There you go, your man again. Boom. Bad for whatever reason. Then you give reasoning to why what he said. Then the female says, oh yeah, that does make sense. But I don't like his approach about it.
He ain't sound right saying
it. Yeah. Even if it did make sense, he ain't.
But the funny part is the homegirl in the background was like, I don't give a fuck, hook me up.
Oh, yeah.
My homegirl is like, fuck that, fuck what she talking about, hook me up.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about, yeah.
It definitely was a lot of why he playing with her emotions. Why would he do that? And blah, blah, blah. I read a lot of that shit too.
Well, the whole thing about it is this. I didn't request to speak to anybody. I didn't say bring me on the show. I'm not playing with nobody's emotions. You request to come on. You come on, and then I'm a bad guy for giving you the platform that you or her or whoever put it together. As me, I could have said no. I thought we was going to end up being friends after the show was over. I have fun with it.
They look bad too. They talking about, son, you all fake ass Derrick Jackson ass nigga. I say y'all for a conversation. Yeah, they calling me Derrick Jackson. You know that nigga that be talking in his car and all that. No, I'm not him. Listen, it was just a conversation. I'm not him.
There's a lot of them running around like Fleet picked the wrong girl to invest in. That's what's really going on. They need to holler at me. Where he at? That's his problem. He making wrong decisions with the women.
I mean, that's what I want to hear.
That's word. You would have said, no girl.
Oh, freaky's on it? What? Come on now. Yeah, it's gonna be a good
What
one.
happened to my other bowl? I gave you a red bowl, Tupperware thing, and then I had that tuna sandwich in the Tupperware. Remember that you were gonna get the tuna wrap?
Yeah.
Was it, did you keep that container?
No.
Back to
Why
like
not?
that talk with Fleet, man.
I think it might have gotten some of the stuff on it when I opened it.
A great start to
It was a while back.
We have soap to wash it out. I finished eating it.
Of course, my man Larry shit.
No.
We got Sin
Last
City.
Saturday
Sin
night.
City was good, baby. How you?
You know what it was? I took Monday off and I thought it was Sunday.
So
I didn't realize that I was already across Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. That's
another female coming on this show today that I used to deal with in the past.
No, but I was gonna let you use it because sometimes you make beans and stuff.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. You just wash it out.
No.
I gave you another one you can use, right?
But a lot of people
No, the other one, I throw it with the soup.
we'll just
Because I put a beef stew.
You can use them over and over again. I got them
It seems like
Okay, cool.
passes
When they get old, you can see they're old, but that's a brand new one I just got.
Oh, okay, Miss Ball out of control.
They're not
Okay.
cheap, you know?
All right. Excuse me, Miss Alice. I'm gonna step my game up.
I like keeping them for.
Old Spice Gentleman's Body
All right.
full of vitamin B3.
Mm-hmm.
The President's Day sale is live at BrandSmart with prices so low you won't want to miss out. Lock in a Samsung smart washer or electric dryer at $650 off. Rest easy on a new 8-inch queen mattress for $199. Upgrade your entire kitchen with 4 new appliances for just $1499.99. Shop the President's Day sale while it lasts and don't miss our doorbusters every weekend.
Knock on the door,
BrandSmart
Miss
USA. Favorite brands, lowest prices, guaranteed.
It's 2026, and Medicare Advantage plans are available in zip codes across the United States. So what are you waiting for? Find out if you're eligible. Call now to check your zip code. If you don't have a Medicare Advantage plan, also known as Medicare Part C, now is the time to check your zip code. If you're confused about Medicare and want someone to help make it easier and simpler to understand your options, call to check your zip code. You may be eligible for a special enrollment period. Call to check your zip code. If you recently lost coverage and no longer have the coverage,
Did you catch a little flack from last week? From the
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Talk with Flea, man. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. It's been a great start to the year. I got my man Freaky Singy in the building today. Zeke was good. Of course, my man Larry's here. And we got Sin City on line one. Sin City, what's good, baby? How you?
What's up, my nigga?
Everything good, man. So, real quick, before me and Sin and Larry and Zeke start talking, Sin had called me and told me I have another female coming on this show today that I used to deal with in the past. I don't know if he's a hotline for my old chicks that I used to deal with. I don't know why they happen to be reaching out to him. I will discuss that on later. But a lot of people seen the video with a female I used to, well, we'll just say last episode of Talk with Flea. People seen that episode, and it seems like a blast from the past is now all calling Sin City. So we'll have another conversation with another young lady I used to deal with later on in the show. But we'll get to that later on. Sid, what we got going on today? What's on line one, baby?
Did you catch a little flack from last week? From the public, you think? There was a lot of mixed emotions out there. You think you caught a little flack?
As far as last week's episode?
Yeah.
Which flack?
Like, you shouldn't do females like that and blah, blah, blah. Like, shit like that. Yo. Did you catch some flack, brother? How do you feel about that?
The whole thing about it is,
I got you.
Flack was around. I ain't catching. I wasn't catching flack. So at the end of the day, no, I didn't catch any flack. Now, if you talk about all jokes aside, in all seriousness, understand that it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what the topic is, especially when it comes to women sticking together. Women stick together. And of course, you have a lot of females as well saying that, yo, Kim, you're right. I don't know what she thought this, that, and the third, but you have females on our side as well. You got a group of females that sometimes generally don't like me because of music, because I killed bitch in the movie. Niggas don't like my actions. It's a group of females that don't like me. There's a group of females that love me for being honest and being the nigga that I am. So you got mixed emotions when it comes to females. But I tell you one thing, I got some phone calls from some people last week, and the people that called me about it, which I won't say, made me feel good about that. So they're pretty prominent people that called me about it, and they made me feel good about it. So I don't have no regrets about doing the episode whatsoever. I didn't ask for this episode. This was something that you or her put together on my platform. When you don't speak to somebody for however many years, and the first time you speak to them, it may not go good. I thought it went well for me, but it was very hostile on their part. I didn't get emotional. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming. The only thing that I got emotional about was my dead friends at the end. And even then, I didn't get too emotional. I just ended the picture. But no, I don't feel any type of way. We were doing what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see later what happens on Therapy with Flea.
Yeah, but let me ask you guys, how did you feel about that interview last week?
I think it was all right. I think it was an understanding that a female need to learn how to take accountability for certain things, because she seemed like she was using her problems and just was throwing it on you, just like how females do. It's like a boomerang reflect, if that makes sense. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a little fat, so I caught all the
How can we help you?
call me all the time, man. Hey, your man,
go ahead, chin strap. Halfway. Take all this off, the beard, and the eyebrow.
she it was a bad investment. He didn't want to invest in that. And then when I broke it down, yeah, but just the way he do it, I'd be like, man, whatever. Super Day and freaking Ziggler.
That's what you're doing right there, Larry. Exactly, right?
If you know I'm gonna have some music for blast, you need me to raise your hand.
There go your man again. Boom. Bad for whatever reason. Then you give reasoning to why what he said. Then the female says, "Oh yeah, that does make sense." I don't like his approach about it. Yeah. Even if it did make sense, he ain't got to say it like you're never gonna win.
But the funny part is the homegirl in the background like, I don't give a fuck, hook me up. The homegirl is like, fuck that, fuck what she talking about, hook me up.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It definitely was a lot of why he playing with her emotions. Why would he do that? Blah, blah, blah. I read a lot of that shit too.
Well, the whole thing about it is this. I didn't request to sleep anybody. I didn't sleep on the show.
No.
I'm not playing with nobody emotions.
No, but I'll get the electric one from my nephew. I'm not going to be using the blade until I finish restoring the chair with the cylinder so that I can give you the dining blade.
That's me. I could have said no. I thought he was going to end up being a friend of the show.
It was man, they were bad too. They talking about some you all fake ass Derek Jackson ass thing. I say nothing. I just a conversation. Yeah, they call me Derek Jackson. You know that nigga that be talking in his car and all that. Nah, I'm not having it. Listen, it was just a conversation. I'm not having it.
There's a lot of them running around like Sweet picked the wrong girl to invest in. That's what's really going on. They need to holler at me where he at. That's that problem. We making wrong decisions with the women.
That's what I want.
That's the word. You would have said that. They don't no girl invested in me.
Yeah, that's my problem. I'm about to take it away. I'm going to go with that for $100.
Yo, now we can talk about it. I don't know, Nick, if he could flashback to when I first asked you. What's up, man?
What's up?
Yo, what's up? TMZ's been out all day, man. What the fuck? You saw J. Cole? Because I got questions about that. Okay. J. Cole, that's the product. How did you go son from North Carolina? Why are you suing J. Cole, my nigga? You don't bother nobody. All right, go ahead. Okay. All right, well, we'll just answer this. J. Cole just came out with a diss record. This is Simple, Joe Buttons, Drake. He dissed you, surprisingly. I thought he was. Can we talk about the J. Cole, you suing J. Cole's situation? What happened, man?
He's dissing. I didn't hear this.
Yeah,
this is Simple.
Yeah.
What do you say about Simple? I like Simple.
Because J. Cole backed out the whole battle. So people had things to say at that time. I know it was like a year and a half ago. I thought all this shit was over with. I don't know where this is coming from now. It is a dope record though. It's like 4 records. I heard like 2 in 2 snippets. But yeah, he's coming at Simple, Joe Buttons, Drake. He said Drake sold his soul for crumbs, which is $400 million to the Universal people. Some dude named Watch or H. So he's talking about that a little bit.
There's a Drake.
Right. I don't know.
Did y'all hear this?
I heard the verse. Yeah.
What do you think about it? First of all, I just want to hear first.
I thought he seemed a little angry. He seemed like he was on it. Like he was, but he didn't mention it, which I ain't worried about that.
I'm just talking about the song. What did you think of the record?
I mean, he seemed like he was like,
what's he doing?
Yeah.
He's rapping.
Yeah.
He's rapping.
Yeah.
Was it better than Kendrick Lamar?
No.
I don't understand. Why he ain't
He said it off everybody else's beats.
Did he schedule Lamar?
I didn't catch that one yet. I didn't catch that.
I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it before I get my opinion on that. Because I didn't hear, first of all, I didn't hear the record. But I don't know why he's just some Drake, you know, him and Drake. I guess Drake said something about him I didn't hear. I don't know. I didn't hear. But it started with him and Drake. And Kendrick Lamar was just him and Drake. And then I guess J. Cole was going to go back, but then he backed out the battle, then Drake stayed in the battle. So maybe Drake said something about J. Cole. I don't know. I'm just all speculating. I don't know why, pardon me, I don't know why he would diss Drake because they were cool. And it seems like to me, this whole may be calculated. Kendrick Lamar got what he wanted, hold up everything. Because this all really started with, to me, I don't know if it was Drake and J. Cole saying the big three, which was Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Drake. And Kendrick Lamar didn't want to be part of the big three, I believe. He's like, I didn't ask to be part of this. You know, he was a line when he said, big three, now it's just big me. And so then, you know, this been going on for a while, like off and on, but then this last incident that happened, that was on Metro Boomin's project, that's what tilted it over the head. So Drake and Cole are not friends, and I know they're like friends off records. That's why I'm trying to confuse it when you're telling me this. I hope this information is wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm like, you know, when I speak to J. Cole, when I'm even Drake, when J. Cole was playing professional basketball in Canada, Drake was going to the game and all type of shit. So this is really like news to me. I gotta do some more homework for this, but if that is true, Kendrick Lamar broke up the big three, even though he never wanted to be a part of it. I don't know.
That's a lawsuit.
Let the process what the fuck you just told me about. He's lying and everything. Right. I'm trying to process what the fuck you just told me. Let me think about it. These niggas, you know, they get older too. I'm not real, they're older than ever. They're younger rappers. They're like the OGs to younger rappers. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly how this got to this point. What do you guys think, Zeke and Larry, about J. Cole dissing niggas now as opposed to when everything was lit? Because to me, this is where I'm at with J. Cole, right? I'm talking about the artist. J. Cole is super nice living, like dumb nice. And he got to a point where, and I don't know for a fact, this whole speculation, to where he's like, yo, I made enough money, I'm gonna do this shit when I want it. You know, when they start growing their dreads and, you know, their sneakers is clean, no more, just ride bikes. Like, you know, that's the shit you want to do. I dig that. Because you gotta remember, J. Cole came in with the Rockefeller chain and the season. Right. Clean cut nigga. Yeah, he got nice. He's like, this is what I really want to be the whole time. He's like a Jay-Z. Jay-Z, like, I don't want to build my hair up. I think J. Cole reached that point musically to he can wear what he want to wear, come out with an album, whatever the fuck he want to come out with an album, run his music career the way he wants to run it. Because he's been successful, but not only successful, he's really good. And when it's a battle going on and everything else in the music battle, and you step away from it, and it's been over a year since that happened, and then you jump back into dissing it, it's not even the people that dissed you. From what I'm understanding, just get information down. What do y'all feel about that?
Well, culturally, once the diss or verse comes, you supposed to, you know, rip your shirt or go Hulk Hogan, not even rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? They go crazy. So it looked like he got scared of a Devo. It looked like Kendrick was on his Devo shit. He's like, yeah, and then turned around and started kicking niggas when he down because Drake trying to not trying to get back, but you know what I'm saying? It seemed like he back on this get up. So you want to kick him and the other people that's down. I forgot who you said, the other people that you said, but that's it. Sucker, it's shitty shit. Like, fuck wrong with you, fuck bitch ass nigga? Because when you had the chance to fight the motherfucking nigga, you got scared and bowed out. And there was no problem with that.
Yeah, Drake. That's what he like. He left Drake to die. You know what I'm saying? And now he like 2 years later. Now you want me to fight with this? You know what I'm saying? I gonna pick a fight with your man Drake. You know what I mean? Like I think he was scared of Kendrick Debo Lamar. Just going to small people. We're not drinking none of this. Not small. Basically, what you're trying to say is when it was time to get out, you didn't want to get out. I'm scared. You didn't want to get out, and now that it's kind of dying down, for whatever reason, now you want to beef with Drake when the real beef started with Kendrick. That's right. What you're saying. It's like, nigga, fuck out of here. When you had your chance, nigga, why you ain't get busy? No.
I don't know if this is a good analogy. Like it's like showing up on O Block at like 5 a.m. when everybody's asleep, and you come out and say, "I'm here, niggas." You know what I'm saying? Everybody gone already. Everybody in the house. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but kind of that's why I feel.
I don't know. I got to do more research on this because, but with this Drake, I think it's more that we're missing out on. You know, Drake is real smooth when it comes to slick bars, and people probably listen to Drake and slid some slick shit in there for us that we don't know about. Right? So I got to do some more homework on that, man. But yeah, this is news to me. I got to hit it right. I know one thing. I know Simba can rap. He's nice. I fuck with Simba. I think he's good. So I don't think he hasn't really been rapping as much. He's been more on his business shit. But I think he'll come back out for this particular situation. He's one of the biggest. But J. Cole is one of the greats of his era. Period. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't surprised when Jermaine was doing it. I wasn't surprised. I was. Now, I wasn't surprised because we talk about accountability, and I think he's smart enough to know that in that lawsuit he doesn't win because he should take accountability.
Listen, as far as the lawsuit is concerned, you know, first of all, me and J. Cole are cool. It wasn't. I don't have no problem with J. Cole, bro. I think that he's super dope, talented, rap-wise, super good. Like I said, as far as his value is concerned, I don't know how to take it because I don't know what was said. I don't think he just come out just straight for that. Drake's my bro too. So I hope they get it together. But I just think this was a mastermind plan by Kendrick Lamar, and now everybody's kind of separated. But as far as my situation with him, I never wanted to do anything as far as the lawsuit is concerned. This is exactly what happened. Just so you know, I don't really care anymore. I just want to get his attention. I'm not saying that I don't need to be compensated for what I do or do what you say you do. And to me, being a man is keeping your word. And I know everybody's busy and everybody has things to do and so on and so forth. But if I give you my word 4 or 5 times, I got to do it out of one time out of 4 or 5 times. So on his first project he did, I did an intro for him. He needed it within 24 hours. Luckily, I was in my home studio. I called my engineer over. I did the record for him for his intro. I did a high 95 or something like that. We got 48 hours to do it. I called my engineer over, knocked it out, gave it to him. Cool. I told him I may need a verse whenever I get a project done. So he said, cool. He had another project that he put out. I think it was the last project he put out. I forget what it was called, but I think I'm ready over for his project, which was originally a Diplomat record. I'm ready that we did with the Diplomat project. So he said, when are you in town? Are you going to be in New York? I'm like, no, next week. He hit me the next week. And Taylor said, yeah. He said, can you come this week? I said, I can come tomorrow. I'll make time. I went to the studio, played me the record. I did the record with an accent and Corday was there. The young boy Corday, rapping. I did the record in 20 minutes. I knocked that shit out for all my business. Maybe 15 minutes. And I was there 30 minutes. I was in there. And I told him, look, I just need an interview. You know, then he says, okay, when's the project coming out? When you gonna get? I said, I don't know the project. I just need a version. Because this project, the last project I did for him, let's just say it was June. It's supposed to come out in November. It didn't come out till the next November. So he was sitting on the verse for like a year and a half, which was to me old at the time. And I'm saying, that shit updated. He called me one day like, yo, I'm just letting you know one day I'm putting that song out. And I'm like, All right, cool, no problem. It's all good. I need a verse. Well, I'm exaggerating. It's like the shock rate.
And for your chin up, look up. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, we're going to change the light. Yeah, for your chin up.
Okay, let's put your own into it. I want me twice to do something, and I did it. One day you have 48 hours. Then I knocked the other thing out. As soon as I told you, look, you never said the record, you're going to be in the studio. I knocked it out. Cool, you don't give me the record, which is fine. Then I said, you know what, forget the record. Let's do an interview. That I got you. I got a project coming out in June. Let's do it around then. Cool. I'll do the problem. And mind you, the months I'm saying may not be accurate for the months. Cool. June is coming. Oh, we pushed the album back. I don't want to just do an interview. All right, cool. Well, now we're going to do it in October. All right, I'll call you back in October.
Who needs sweatbands? Makes the Old Spice water in the first place. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna take all that off.
City Kia is the #1 CPO dealer in the USA 3 years in a row. Why? The best guest experience, the best CPO inventory, and the best deal. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. Visit us at citykia.com.
You want me for last time.
I know.
I'm just kidding. What's up, bro? You all right?
Shark coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, 100% antibacterial, and last a lifetime. Over 50% of our jobs begin by removing a failed coating. It's costly and time-consuming to redo your floors every couple of years. Don't pay twice. Get it done right the first time. Everyone is choosing Shark Coatings because of our unbeatable prices and 5-star service. It's cheaper to do it right the first time.
Yo, what's up? Oh man, you cool. You say I tell you October, you call October, huh, nigga? Yeah, nigga. Yeah. Nah, I can't do it because, this is going on, the beef is going on with Kendrick Lamar. I can't do it now because the shit is going on with Kendrick Lamar and all that. And I don't feel like talking about that like that. I said, look, I'll do an interview. I won't even bring that up. I won't even talk about that. He says, nah, I can't do no interview and not talk about it. You gotta talk about it. I said, all right, well, man, February, definitely. February, I'm dead ass on February. You know, you're going to February. All right, cool. February, yo, what's up? Oh, shit. Yo, I'm still working, man. I said, listen, bro, I got all the texts. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, you can't keep telling me this because now, when I'm big, I said, listen, I need your word, man. You ain't in there with people. I need your word. When are you going to do this interview? Yo, we not pushing it back. I promise you we not pushing back June. We back at 4 years. Back to June. I said, are you sure? I don't care about if the album comes out, not coming out, beef, are you sure? You can't be out my work. Yeah. Now I'm starting to do all this, other shows I got going on, deals I got lined up on the table, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm out piling deals. And like I said, that's why I say you don't count no money until it's in your pocket. Which it didn't matter anyway. But when I'm piling these deals, J. Cole doesn't do a lot of interviews. I'm saying I'm going to have a J. Cole interview for you in June. Be like, get the fuck out of here. Like now, they say something like, when I'm talking, working out deals for all my other shows, get the fuck out of here. All right, bet. Cool. Now I'm piling deals off of what you told me, which, you shouldn't do that anyway. That's not continuing business. But if I did 2 favors for you, then you gave me a word 4 times, I'm assuming on the 5th time, you got it.
That's way past.
That gracefully snow this time, you dead serious. June comes, and then I say, I'm out to keep it real, so I can't do it. I don't know what the album's going to be done. And I said, I can't promise you a date if I can do the date. I don't want to keep telling you I'm going to do it, don't do it, this, that, and the third. So I'm going to just have to send my pass for that.
Hey, now I got to cut you. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm not necessarily out for you for 48 hours because you're hours. I come to a anniversary 2 weeks later in New York because you put that money. I'm not hold the occasion on the floor. I'm cool. They're calling me to do this stuff. I appreciate the call. Don't get me wrong. I fuck with them. I like people doing music. But you're calling me to do this stuff. Okay? When I ask you to do something for me, you string them off for the way. First of all, no verse. It's a shot, baby. You know, like, they tell me now, I try to kill everybody on the like that. I take you 3 weeks to wait around. That's wrong. Why should you do that? You string them off for you that the boundary tell me how to do it. I can give you a word 4 times. The last time, I'm just not going to do it. So my thing was, that's fine. I'm struggling off with no brush, no energy, and I told you 4 times you're going to do it. This time you told me for you. Just pay me for what I've done already. That's what I was. You said you gonna do that. So it wasn't like I'm not trying to shoot your thing. Like I'm not on that type of time. That's the last thing I want to do. But you gotta be a man and keep your word. If you're a man, keep your word as a man. And you know people gonna see this in life. If they call these people, they call these people. I got shit to do too. You know it. I got shit to do too. Then you should go out and do more. I thank you. Please, shit. Whatever. Because you know the younger generation, they just say, oh, yeah, you should go through that. Listen, bro, whatever, man. I didn't call niggas. I got shit to do too. And I appreciate the call, like I said before. But I don't work for free. That nigga Hope said that wrong. He said back in the days, nigga, no niggas fight for people pay, nigga. Ain't I ain't shucking the job.
But that's why I think she didn't put you on, because I think she probably has a little accountability for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like, now the bigger question is, if he called you tomorrow and said, let's do an interview.
I'm just maybe, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to go to court and all that shit. But I can't be working for free. Yeah. Especially when you to me, you get the deal is a deal. Exactly. I don't think it's personal with the ass, but you're giving me that ass. Right. That's not what I'm saying. So I don't want to go to court. I don't want to shoot the go, but I do and will be compensated for what I did. Or just do the interview. But now, even if we do the interview, we see this, and it's like, how thorough the interview gonna be. It's the same shit. He ain't do none of the work for you. Shit. Now, I'm just saying, Larry asked me what I do the interview now. I don't know now because the shit might have said, and especially seeing this, who knows what kind of good interview I would get. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like I said, that was the last thing that I wanted to do, but it was the kind of only thing I could do. And that's just where we at.
J. Cole, you did bad though. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to at least honor your word. It's been a goddamn 365 on the motherfucker.
The dates, bro. From the time they told me we were going to do it to the time when it was last told me we wasn't going to do it. It was 2 years. Sid kept fighting. I'm like, yo, bro. He's like, yo, man, just call check in. I said, I just called check in. He said, no. So, you know, I looked at the date. She said 2022, the first 10. Like, yo, bro.
Sid, that's the light skin in us, and we tried to make six. Nigga said, no, man, I'm not doing that. I'm not listening to you. No. I said, come on, 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Nigga said, no, I'm not doing it.
I was giving you weeks. I was definitely giving you weeks. I wanted to do the interview. I didn't want to do this right. I like this shit. I like this style. I like it. Yeah, but I can too. Right? Yeah. It's not only that, like I said, never can take it away. But I didn't reach out. Man, call me. You know what I'm saying? Then he's called me. Right? And like I said, I'm saying for the third time. Thank you for that. That's really dope. I think there's an admiration in there as well. But I also do, and I really do my end. I don't work for free. And I don't mind working if you're going to do nigga things as well as an artist, you know. That's what's missing now too. I'm more, even though it's not for New York, but like Atlanta niggas, two shit as you say. You're like, yo, that, you know, I said J. Cole's not from New York, but he used to be like, yo, New York niggas, y'all always think 3-4 weeks to give each other a verse. We said, listen to each other in Atlanta at the gas station. And we like, yo, I need a verse. So we drive straight to the studio from the gas station. Everybody doesn't have that mindset. I get that. But 2.5 years, yeah, 2.5 years is crazy.
I mean, that you're principle driven, and that's what really matters to you more than anything. It wasn't about no money. No, that's what I'm saying. It's principle driven for him. It wasn't even about no money. He was asking for a fucking interview. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like J. Cole was better off just doing the fucking verse at the end of the day, if that was the case. But when you play, but when you're not keeping your word, that's the part that's really, really bad. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can have all of them, but you ain't got your word, you ain't got nothing. Right.
Niggas used to regular up niggas' school clothes over shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that we were gonna do that to J. Cole, but
he comes across as a guy that seems like he would keep his word. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying this, my personal opinion is this. I don't think he mean no harm. I really believe everything he's saying. Yeah. I believe that he believes that. I believe that when he tells you it takes a week and a half or 2 weeks for him to write around on certain songs because he wants to be the best artist he can be. I believe that. I believe that he aligns his chakra and soul with waking up, whatever his regimen is to live the life he needs. I believe he goes with his family on vacations and turns his phone on. Like, I really believe he does everything that he says he does. And I don't think he means harm, but you can't keep giving your word. I don't think none of it's malicious. I don't think none of it's bad. But at the same time, you gotta realize that people will stop what they're doing for you. And not saying you gotta stop doing what you're doing for somebody, but you gotta find time in 2 years. That's just the saying, killing that shit more now. Killing more killing. Should have been time for a motherfucker you want to make time for. Right there on the other side, you know what I'm saying? J. Cole, you did that. I'm sticking to that.
It didn't seem like 2 years. 2 years fly by. That's why I was trying to, help.
You didn't tell me. But you always J. Cole. So Ken would have put him in the headlock and combed his hair out and been mad about what he did. That'd have been cool too.
His hair out. You can't go comb his hair out and J. Cole in the same sentence, man. It don't work. It don't work like that.
Oh, you know that, Cole. You just call my man and shit crazy right now. Like how you did with it. Like he did that. You can't drink. You can't drink. I don't want to fight you. So, shit. I'm just saying, reality is real.
You're gonna get a verse in 5 years dissing you. You're gonna chill out. In 5 years, you get a verse.
At least we get some. Shit. About time. Maybe he'll respond now. Shit.
You got a few pieces of unique jewelry. You got like a spinning globe, you got a flashlight, you got a battery in it, you had your own face on it, which I heard y'all bought one of your old chains from the jeweler for $200,000, which is crazy. Shout out to him. You got any most memorable pieces, like something that was like sentimental to you? Out of all the jewelry that you have?
Not really sentimental, but memorable. Like I was the first nigga to put your battery, put your jewelry in the verse. And my shit took a double A battery. So my light can light up and my chain can spin or whatever the case may be. So I just take a lot of pride in being unique. Shout out to y'all because Izzy and his brother Joe, they put a lot of that shit together. They were innovative and being creative. And I just want to have shit that nobody ever had before. So as far as it's not necessarily sentimental, but memorable, yeah. Like I would say the glory and like flashing light, the street light show was the most valuable. It wasn't nothing sentimental because I put all my own shit. So it was like somebody's favorite saying that cherish this. Shout out to Hobby Lobby for putting all that together.
Speaking of jewelry, Before all this social media, I heard you speak about it on camera. I think it was on a DVD. It was rumored that you got robbed All-Star Weekend in LA, and you spoke about it because they was like talking about it on the radio and shit. When you heard, well, obviously you said that it could have happened, that you got assaulted and robbed. When you heard that rumor, what was your reaction to that? And where did you think that came from?
I have no idea. It's kind of like I guess also women was in LA and maybe like the robbers, maybe like that. I have no idea. I didn't never feel no way about it because this is exactly what happened to me. It was like, whatever. I didn't give a fuck. British shot one of the British. British went out there and defended. Like I knew for some reason he wasn't all over the city. Like he kind of scattered and landed out there sporadically for some reason. And I just remember landing, and when he came to pick me up from the airport, he's like, I'm just telling you now, you got robbed. And I was like, when you got there, as soon as I landed, he was telling me, yo, I'm like, no, you got robbed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody out here talking about you got robbed. And I'm like, I just landed here. So I know, I'll be picking you up, nigga. I'm just telling you that's what everybody's going around telling. So I'm like, that's wild. And then, I mean, what can you say? If people believe that or going to believe it, cool. I went straight to the Beverly Center, down with the Fox Hill Mall, right here in my building all day. And some people believe they said people did. No, it's just whatever. But I actually got a song in Purple Haze about that. I'm just going to do it, and I got about that. That song about the rob, was supposed to be but it's really dope, man. I think you figure it out. But yeah, what can you do? You can't fight on this. Like you said, this was pre-social media and everything else. But yeah, I was robbed before I was.
Oh, you're watching it. You're watching it.
See, brand new. You put me on. I'm on it. Yo, Freaky Zeke was on it too.
Oh, I like that podcast. Like the Gator and the Joe.
It's too forced. This is natural chemistry. Yeah, it's natural chemistry. Porque ellos son amigos, they're from the same building. They're from the same building. He is like a pretty boy, but okay, if he has to get down, he'll get down. But he's about his money. Oh, yeah. Yo, my goodness, another one. Wow. Y'all from the same neck of the woods. No, but this is one generation ahead of me. They're all like 10 to 12 years older than me. Not time, but like 10 guys. Matter of fact, it was time on his birthday on the 3rd. His birthday just passed.
You mentioned
It's Monday. Friday or Tuesday.
What's a standout memory you got regarding Heavy Six?
Heavy Six, it's too many. It's a lot. The 17 episodes from I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if it really. So I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. It ain't necessarily the best one, but it's just something I'm thinking about. So I had I had a cousin for we had a town home. I had literally 11 cars. And it was fucking the whole subdivision up. There's complaining about my shit. So I would let niggas cars or whatever. I had a brand new S550 when it first came out. I give it to her. I would take it for free. Now, lying, this shit probably like 2 months old. Shit just came out. So I'm like, all right. Because I'm not caring about the car. I'm like, man, I wasn't driving. So I'm doing this in like 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, bring the car back. Like, I don't bring it back. So I'm not seeing that like every day. Now I'm not seeing him. So I'm like, yo, where's my car at, man? Yeah, he gonna be good. Yo, stop pressing me. Don't drive a Range Rover, man. You got 17 other cars in there. Leave me alone. Yo, he's telling me to leave him alone. I said, all right, I'm gonna find this thing. So then 2 days later, he hit the car like, God damn, yeah. Then take one of my other cars. Plus me up and the fucking car. You fucking off. Your attitude, take my other car, pull off. So I'm like, whatever, man. So I'm just driving by. So
I got cousins just like that. My cousin Juju.
So then like,
I'm not driving. You know, I saw high-end cars, you know what I'm saying? And I take a trade in and try to whip it for the weekend. I was like, yo, you know how much I'm going to charge you every mile?
For some reason, I looked at my passenger side door.
Yeah, do that, you know? Customer sees you whipping the car for the weekend. They don't want to buy the car from you. They're like, yo, you're supposed to get a service. You out here in South Beach. Right? Trying to get a honey dip, right? With the heat, man. That's why my boy, you know, we used to like the high-end exotic rental cars, and he started doing motorcycles. Like the Polaris, you know, the bunch of two-seaters with the 3 wheels. Just so like they don't have to do with cars, you know. You know what you do to get good drivers? You get a Mustang or a stick shift. So you know you're not getting no good driver trying to work that. You know what I'm saying? You get stick shift for what? For the transmission. For 6 speeds. Instead of automatic. If you got automatic, then you're the person who rent the car and crash it. Yeah, with the 6 speeds, you gotta be nice. That car was turned off when you were going up a little bit. Going up a driveway was turned off when you know what I'm saying? That's how embarrassing. So you gotta know how to drive. How you gonna try to get a flash shot and you pull up and you about to take off? Turned off, yo, so you gonna be driving, yo.
Is it just loud and tell me?
It's such a business. Because, you know what I'm saying? Our family is a little reckless.
I need to know how to take it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I said, see how easy that is? That's easy. Like, you just got past that stuff. 2 months pass after that. It's like years like the time you was driving and you got your car doing shot up.
Young cross.
The door fixing all that going down. I said, where was this? You're like, well, shit, we had the car for like a month and a half. He did. He was in the car. And this man, somebody started shooting his friend out in the back seat. He ain't gonna tell you. I thought he told me about that, but he's fixed. I really got fixing on early.
So you got the good service. You went to pain. I was like, yo, fix the door. My brother had an issue with one of my homies. They did the door. 13. Yo, $5,000. They fixed the whole door. Paint, everything. Clear code. That shit was better than the factory. Try to do that shit in America. They're looking at 30 G's. $5,000. Pesos, that's like 150,000 pesos overseas. Yeah, you don't need no skills. It's like, nah, the last 20,000 was good. I really came out to like 43, 4,400, but we are giving them a $600 tip. Without noise. You can't do that in America. Crazy, the paint is $2,000 a gallon. What's the paint? What's the paint? Don't go. Where's the door? You gotta buy the door shell, you gotta take everything off the old door now, you gotta make the paint. I'm just full of I'm not covering talking like that. You show people the Porsche, they want to see a Ferrari. You show them a Ferrari, they want to see a Lamborghini. You show them a Lamborghini, they want to see an Aston Martin. You show them an Aston Martin, they want to see a Lotus. You never win the game. Yeah. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? I got a chauffeur that's driving. What's the heck is wrong with this driving? I'm heavy. Yeah. That's what I said, man. Slow down. Watch the movie, right? Yo, Golden Section, dude. That's it. Give me 1 second. Let me return this to my next.
Dreaming of the perfect family trip?
Who are you?
Honey,
Yeah, once I
Priceline's
get
AI
that
travel
cylinder
assistant.
done,
Eco Resort.
or we might get a different
Zipline.
thing.
Done.
With time. Give me 1 second.
Dad, I love that you're here, but I don't need you to check on me.
I just want to help. Maybe you're going through something with your marriage.
I see. Everybody knows. It's like a fishbowl. That guy knows.
He doesn't know.
Excuse me, you know that my husband left me for a grad student, right?
Yes. I'm here to make sure that Katie's job is safe. She burned down a faculty house.
Yes, sir.
She also assaulted a professor.
All right. Welcome back to yourself. Take a look right there.
Okay, you just trim it down some?
Yeah, I'm going to trim it down.
Half.
As you know, this is where we live, you know?
Oh, good. You counted.
17.
Now, every time I see his chin strap, I think about DMX. Yo, you tell me, yo, give me the DMX. That, yo, in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm always going to use that with my clients. I got you. What you need? Yo, hook me up with that DMX. It's like once you see it, now I can't unsee it. And I'm like, yo, that's like DMX that right there. Yeah, but it's, you know, long story short, he's from around the way. One of my closest brothers passed away, and they're buried next to each other. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to give you blessed. They're blessed. You're better from another mother right there.
Hard things to make ourselves stronger. But we can't continue with this. We'll put some gas and leave on the fire. Pressure was on! I want to crush it!
You keep it up, too.
Okay.
You know, these styles, not everybody keeps them up. Which one is always lazy? Uh-oh. Yo, happy wife, happy life, man. Let me tell you right now.
My ride.
Oh, okay. I thought you said my wife. I'm like, yo. Listen, man. I don't want no problems with that woman. I ain't sleeping in the garage. You be doing too much, man.
How much I owe you, man?
Hey, whatever you normally pay is fine. You know, I'm just gonna hide it from my girlfriend.
Tell me what she meant right.
No, I'm Jewish, you know I can't. Remember, I'm not working, I'm teaching. Whatever you give me is fine. Don't forget your
I'm coming out.
Came in about 3-4 years, and
I'm finna pay the man to come out.
if they can get it on the sweet note or on the bitter note. But I want to welcome to
You
the
all
show,
right?
Fariel.
How much I owe you, man?
Whatever you give me is good. Whatever you give me is
Reached
good.
out to me, and
I'm just gonna hide it from my girlfriend. That's it.
I'd rather them hear from me.
How much I owe you, man?
Yo, I'm Jewish. You go give me a joke. Whatever you give me is good, man.
Give me that price.
No, I can't. It's against my religion. I can't. But whatever you give me is good. Remember, the sabbatical started last night at midnight. So whatever you give me is a blessing.
Can I give you 20?
Hey, more than enough. Far too kind. Hold on. Let me get you some change. Because it's a little too early for me. Come on down. Oh, don't forget your sweater right there.
My problem is with sin. This is my problem. Because regardless of something ending good or bad, when I stop speaking to somebody, that would mean you still speak to them. He has a habit of, if I stop speaking to a certain female or whatever, he stays cool with them. I'm not cool with nobody he don't mess with no more. Like, before we get back to Sid and Gary, what do y'all think about that? Is that?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
He never knew anyway. That was your friend. So, when that said what he should
So
say.
y'all ain't hear the part I said she reached out. Y'all ain't hear that part.
How can she reach out to you though, bro? Like, how Callie can reach out to you? How Callie, everybody reaches out to you. We haven't spoken to people in years. All right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's called social media. That's what it's called.
Am I listening?
They should be blocked. Cam, block.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good dog. I'm not quit,
That's what I'm saying. Am I out here looking for these people? Am I saying that, so and so reached out to me? What you gonna say, Larry? Sorry. Man, you gonna say something?
No, I was gonna say, man, you might have to start sending them a tumble finger. When they inbox you, you just gotta hit them with the finger, like, no.
That's what I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Hello, Sid. No. Because they do be trying to use us, though, Ken. So sit on your defense. They do be trying to, like, hey,
I know, and he knows that. He knows that. I don't know why he's blaming me. Because we in public, you won't blame me. But all right, I'll take that. Can we get to the show, bro?
No problem.
Yeah, we want you to be we want you to have some accountability. You know what I mean? So, any kind of accountability, because you never have none. You don't have shit. Yeah, you always right about everything. What happened? Why did you give me to?
First of all, Brian, good to see you. How you been? It's been a minute. How you been?
Somebody do it, blow it out.
How you?
First of all,
Shot shows.
Your face is dead.
We'll be right back.
You wore that purposely. Why would you come up here with your cleavage out like this? It's all good though. I already know what you look like. It's all good. You're not gonna catch me with that.
It's down.
But it's all
See
good.
what's up?
Okay, cool. Yeah. But how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing? What's up with you?
Everything's all right, man. I know we haven't spoken in a minute since you wanted to come into the show. Just wanted to hear what you have to say. First of all, real quick, how's your mom and your family and wife?
They all good. They all right.
That's what's up. So what's happening?
Well, I wanted to come on the show and just let you know that I did see your show the other day. I watched it. And I seen the girl that you used to talk to on there.
Was jealous?
Well, I'm not jealous. Not jealous.
What would you call it? Because you called it this weekend. I was jealous with. What's your reason?
My reason for calling is just after watching it, I just wanted to apologize for, certain things that went wrong in the relationship that we had.
So this was the setup behind it. She apologized. And now what? Because nobody just comes out and apologizes. What's the butt behind it?
Could you relate? I swear.
You talking about her?
Yeah, I'm talking about her. Could you relate to their issues? Was there like similar issues? As far as like business?
Well, as far as business, Cam definitely invested in me. He invested in me, and I fucked that up.
Glad you're taking accountability. But guys, somebody want to access to
You sure Cam ain't paying you to say all this shit, man? Because it's going too perfect. Hey, listen, you call me and tell me like you got some shit to talk about. Listen, this ain't no problem.
That's what happened. If you want to know the truth, that's what really happened. She wanted to invest.
What happened?
She wanted to invest in beauty products, mainly lip scrub.
Lip scrub, that was the thing that I was
Say something about that lip scrub.
Go ahead.
I don't know what that shit was, but no, tell me, what was that? Give me the ingredients now.
You had some shit. You had some of the lip scrub, Sid.
I'm not giving the ingredients, but it was just some brush.
Sid knows this. He actually has some of the lip scrub. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah, and I paid for it. I thought it would be a good idea. She had good ideas for facial products. beauty products, but the main ingredient was lip scrub. I think that'd be good for us because niggas lips get dry, niggas smoke a lot, whatever. So I gave it to her. She never followed through. It wasn't like it was a $2 million investment. It was a decent price investment. So when I took the loss, I wasn't mad at it. But she didn't follow through. I'm not a lip scrub or a horse connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? So, did you use the lip scrub? Horse. Why do you keep laughing at this?
Because wait, no, that lip scrub, I don't know what that was. Like, I did like this and it hurt. And I was like, yo, I don't want and you said to say that you invested. Like we went from wedding venues to shit that hurt your mouth and pause. I was just confused by it for the moment. Like I was confused.
That's a lot. Listen, thank you for your life. But I thought that the part
we will be right back. Nigga,
Meta glasses.
yo, I want one of them shits so bad. Dog, them shits is the truth. Them shits is the hottest shit on the planet. Yes. You just got them?
Yeah.
Yo, you could do mad shit with them, yo. Wow. No, don't worry about it. Oh, man. Yo, and look at the construction. And they have a weight to them, too.
The problem is, my personal opinion, she has no mind in the idea.
They got music too.
No fucking way.
Look.
Yo, this shit is official, yo. I can hear that shit.
I'm a fun nigga.
My nigga.
Like when you with me,
They changed the game with this shit.
You hear it?
Perfectly. Oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, yo.
Ask it, say, hey Meta, and ask it a question.
Hey Meta, who's playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday?
And she was having too much fun. I gave her a life she wasn't used to, no disrespect.
Yo, that's it. Speechless, yo.
This is crazy.
Yo, them,
my client needed money. He sold it to me for $100.
Keep him. Don't sell him. Keep him. Yeah, them shits is not. Yo, my nigga, them shits is official, yo. Yo, them shits look nice, yo. Yo, and you can hear that shit perfectly without the headphones. I was like, what the fuck?
You can't even hear him. Well, you put them on, you can hear them. It's crazy.
Yo, them shits is official. I'm getting one of them shits. That's it. I need one of them shits. Them shits is high, yo. Yo, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Whatever. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and get to that business. I
didn't at all.
Not right there.
So for you to call and take care of them about that, I really.
But I really do want to take care of those. I fucked that
Don't
for
say.
myself.
We
It's
will
like I was
be
saying,
right back
like I said
after
to you
these
before, I don't
commercial
remember
messages.
Cam on some real shit. I said that, I really think
Dreams
that
come
this-
true. Lunchtime.
You come across someone and you put them in a position